Chinchuma. My name is Ezra, which I guess a lot of you probably know if you're here, and new grandma. Unfortunately, I'm a little nervous because she was special. But when I was a kid, I was in second grade and I had to do a speaking at a Christmas pageant. And she came to everybody's thing, grandkids, siblings, she came to everything that she could. And so I'm like, oh, what if I mess up? Everybody's going to know. And she says, well, if you're nervous and you get up there, just tell everybody who you are. You know who you are, don't you? I think so. So every time I public speak, if I get nervous, I introduce myself, because then I can just go like I am now. I'm in a unique situation here because this being her son and her daughter here, I'm her grandson. But she also adopted, well, I thought she adopted me until about 2 weeks ago. So for the last 14 years, I thought she adopted me. But she did raise me since I was 12 years old, 13 years old. So that makes her Sashkichumi, makes her like my mother. My grandmother was Chickasaw. She knew a handful of words, and she encouraged me to do it. She gave me my first dictionary. Well, she let me borrow it. I want this back when you're done. So I returned it just to finally get it back again from Lori. She said, she wants you to have this. So I used it to help make some words. But I want everybody to do me a favor, if you would, because I think the best thing to do is let you know what it's like to be my grandma for a second. So if you could look to the person to your left and say, Chihololi. Now look to the person to your right and say, Chihololi. Now, if you don't have anybody like me, just look at me and say, Chihololi. Onakogia, Chihololi. And if you don't know, you just told the person to your left and your right, unless you're by yourself, you told it to yourself, which is deeply important. I love you. Because I think if any word could describe you, it's happy, peaceful, beautiful, I love you, would be the definition of her. No matter where she went, she would tell anybody and everybody, I love you. And she did love babies. When I was living with her, and we have to go to something, we could be sitting there, and I'm just like, oh, this food going to get out. And she's, so what are you looking at? She goes, that baby, Chomasikyo, huh? So that baby's ugly. She goes, no. She said, anything baby's pretty. I said, oh, Isioshi, Koneoshi, Ofoshi, Hoyoshi, Sentoshi. She said, anything babies, cats, puppies, kids, you name it. I said, what about snakes? I said, anything babies are cute. Snakes just don't last long. My grandmother had a beautiful heart. Very beautiful heart. She was very caring, and she was very giving. I don't think anybody in here that knew her could dispute otherwise. But you know what? I think she gets it from her parents. Because Mimo is exactly the same way. Chihololi Mimo. I taught her that, and ever since I taught her that, every time she sees me, she'll go, Chihololi. So I don't care how many times you tell me, that makes me happy. I have this prayer book here that our tribe has made that has a lot of language in it, but it has a lot of meaningful language. Not saying language is not meaningful, but it has a lot of things that was meaningful to her. And during this time, I sat by her a lot. Me and Pop both did. And I would read her things out of here. She had no idea what I was saying. She knew a few words, but she didn't speak. But you know what? She loved to hear it. And I think that's a fact. Lori asked, can you pray in Chickasaw? I said, I can. She said, can you say something in Chickasaw? I can. I don't know if I tried. And she said, it'd be fitting if you did so. I wanted to put some things here to share with y'all. The first and biggest one was definitely Chihololi, because I believed in anything that you can say to describe her, it would be that. Of all the people in my family, I think she had one of the strongest faiths in the Lord. And so the first thing I want to read is trust in the Lord with all your heart. Now, a lot of people say that. A lot of people know if you're religious or if you believe in God, you should, I guess, follow that. But she did. She was one of those, I may not know everything correctly, but I believe it. And I think that's true. And I think that's one of the most unique and beautiful things about her. Tall. It means oof. I'm going to read a passage here that I took from Proverbs. Rose. Oh, still we have two fluent speakers. I'll mess it up. Achambama Sashoka. Isso. So it'll hit me later. Chinchukush moma chihoa ishjimi. Michahachi manuk fila. Anuk chitana. Nanish kanining ma chihoa ko isha pachashki. Bigmat ishanowaka. Chapililachi. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not into thy own understandings. In all the ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. I think one of the things that made her the mother that you've heard that she is, the grandmother that she is because she tried to use her faith in that, and I believe that. When I lived with her and I'd get ready to go to school, well, she used to get up before the chickens. And she got chickens because she made me take care of them. I'd always come in there, and she had this little Bible study with some of her girlfriends. And she'd always have her book there, her book packed up. And I said, that's dedication. I like that. That's dedication. And the other day I was talking to my grandfather. He said, I can see a lot of her in you. When she loved something, she had dedication to it. And I try to do the same things. Recently, my grandparents watched me have a competition. And there were some challenging parts in it. And she didn't want you to give up. And he was telling me about that. I said, well, Pop, it's nothing compared to what she's doing. She's fighting life right now. And she did not give up. When we brought her home, Lori, I believe, was by her side. And she said, Chapasi, it's one more to beat. It's one more to beat. And she looks over. She didn't quit. I think when we brought her home, maybe she knew what was happening, but I think she had that desire to keep going. And I think that's beautiful. No matter how hard it got, she kept going. Now, if any of you went to school with me, you probably know her as the cupcake grandma. I used to kind of get picked on a little bit when I was little, which was a long time ago. And I come home, and she says, hi, sweetie, how was your day? They're mean. I don't like it. They're mean. And she says, talk to me about it. So I talk to her. She's being my mother. She's telling me what happened. How can I help? Well, I go to school the next day, and this Ezra Johnson, can you go to the office? I said, ooh. So I go into the office, and she had made a dozen cupcakes for 6 of us, 2 apiece. Red velvet. And so she walks to my class, and we gave it to the whole class, and everybody loved it. And Ezra, when's your cupcake grandma coming back? Well, when are you going to be meeting again? I don't know. So I told her thank you. And I said, Grams, I really appreciate that. And she said, yeah. I said, did you look at them? I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, afterwards, weren't your teeth looking funny? Turned their mouth red. That's a win. Your mom believe. Well, Rose Jefferson over here, she's one of my Chickasaw grandmas. I want cookies still. And I came home when I got this job, and I told Grandma, I said, Grams, I got this new friend. She adopted me, but she's like you. She hasn't made me cookies yet. And she said, oh, who is it? I said, Rose. She goes, that's my friend. I said, dang, you know everybody. I remember friends used to tell me that going to Walmart with me was rough because everybody was always coming up and talking. I said, try going with Grandma. I'm pretty sure she knew the people that laid sod for Walmart. But you know what? It's because she touched so many people's lives. Everybody that met her was like, I think I should go home and tell somebody about this lady right here. And I've done that at work. I said, hey, let me tell you, my grandma, she makes cupcakes. And she did that. 61 years my grandparents were together. in marriage. 61 years. I don't know if that's a little bit older than I am. And some change. And they went to Las Vegas. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Las Vegas, but we don't talk about it. But you know what? Their marriage was real. Their love was real. Eulogy kanika. I love it. I really love it. They had this actual ceremony so Meemaw could go. And Rusty here, he did the wedding. I had the beautiful honor and privilege to walk her down the aisle. But I told her, I said, Grams, I might fall. Will you walk me down the aisle? And when I saw her get out of the car in her dress, because she never had that. She'd always, when we talked about it, she said, I wish I could have had the wedding. And I understood that. We watched her get out of the car in that dress. You didn't know anything was wrong with her. She was floating. Probably because that dress was lifting her, but we don't know. Himaka opotsi lishomato. Pisa obana. Ogia aba yakni Jehovah iba Noah. So my grandma's passed, and we want to see her. But she's in the upwards land walking with God. Koyemi, we believe. I never, unfortunately, met my Uncle Ronnie here. But Grandma's always talked about him. When my father passed, she said, that's two of my babies. It's a mother. Time does not enter the equation. If you're her baby, you're her baby. And I was with Papa that morning that she went to see him. I don't know if you remember, you were kind of sleepy. Bless your heart. I said, what I think is, I don't know if when you die as a baby, if you kind of stay a baby when you're up there, or do you come as a grown-up? I'm not sure how that really works. But I imagine that if Ronnie's still a baby, that she comes up and she's like, there you are, and just picked him up and became his mother instantly. And if he's a grown-up and he was as big as me, I still think, there you are, and picked him up and held him just like a mother. It's a piece of banana. And show my cheek and touch up a solid cheek. So I want to see her, and if I keep being good or try to, I think I will. Well, I'd like to have some wonderful friends of mine. No, my wonderful family. No Pashali, we're language carriers. We're all Chickasaw, Chakashapoya. When one of us hurts, we all hurt, and we're there for each other. Lawa Kalimpi. Everybody's strong. If that's not right, it's right now, okay? And my grandfather's favorite hymn or favorite song, not just a hymn, favorite song is Amazing Grace. And I said, Pop, I think I'd like to sing Amazing Grace, but it'll hurt your ears. But I have some friends. And he said, I'm not going to know what you say, but I think that'd be just fine. So, I'd like to say a word of prayer, and then I'm going to come mingle over here. And I'd like to sing Amazing Grace in our language for you. Thank you, Jehovah. Anchoka Shafa and Hanan Mencha Hataglawa Allah Yakuki. When the Konglo, which was a Kanika Hotapa Ogia, Chinchukma Kanika. Opotia Lashuma Ogia, Pochon Push Chugua, Oksha, Sayimi. Opotia pieces of Bunny Kanika. Holy Kanika Bilia. Opotish Pomakai Yakuki. Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for the friends and the family and all of the people that have come here to celebrate the lives of my grandmother, the life of my grandmother. Thank you for giving her to us. When I was a child, I prayed to you for someone to help me. And you gave me a mother. A beautiful one, too. We thank you, Lord. And I pray and hope the feelings of everyone here that we stay strong. Noble Bashai, Jesus Christ, hold you for Amen. Y'all cookie?